All right, so today I'm super excited to be talking to Taylor. How's it going, Taylor?
Doing well. How have you been?
I've been good. So I've been meaning to talk to you because you got a lot of stuff going on, and actually, I'd like to break this interview into two halves because you've got so much stuff going on that for this interview, I'd like to concentrate on what you're doing creatively. So you're a guitarist. So and I saw you playing with Southpaw Sonata. You guys opened up for Polyphia, I remember. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
was pretty cool. So I was going to ask you, so how's it going with that, with guitar playing in bands? What do you got going on?
It's going pretty well. Kind of just exploring uh, my creative flow, I guess, right now, since we've had so much downtime to just write music and kind of get into how exactly we want our sound to be. So we've been just kind of in the studio writing, um, kind of plotting our next move and kind of rebranding, I guess, and seeing exactly where we want to go with our music.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
so as far as Southpaw goes, we've got a new EP coming out probably at the end of this year. We're heading into the studio next month to do 4 or 5 songs, depending
Oh,
on how many we can have ready, I guess. So
yeah.
yeah, that's going to be called Negative Space, which
Cool.
we've already got 2 songs recorded for that. We just had to finish the rest of them, and then also with Rare Bloom, which is like the punk, skate punk kind of project, we've got a 10-track album that we're kind of getting together right now.
Yeah.
We're rehashing a song or two from some of our previous releases, and then also kind of venturing into the more kind of stoner doom, hardcore kind of realm, rather than
Oh,
the
interesting.
the skate punk, pop punk, kind of transitioning from that. So,
Oh, interesting. That's a pretty big departure.
oh yeah.
Are you doing, besides those two bands, are you doing another band on guitar?
Yeah, so I play guitar in a hip hop project. I also produce in it called Dream Machine. And
Hmm.
it's a project that I made with a fellow ACC student, Daniel Arata. And
Okay.
he does like singing vocals and a bit of rapping. It's kind of like a mix between R&B, pop, soul, and like just straight up hip hop. So
Yeah.
it's got that kind of new wave, like guitar beat sound, if that makes sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
where it's like that
That's
nice guitar loop over the hard hitting beat and bass.
Yeah,
So
that's cool, man. So you're actually doing a lot of different genres. You're not like just sticking to like rock or something like that, right?
right, yeah, really been trying to explore what I'm kind of capable of and what I'm comfortable with, and also what I'm good at as well, to kind of like find my niche.
Yeah, that's cool. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about, I started noticing that you started writing beats. So I wanted to ask your role as a producer, like how that's going.
Yeah, for sure. So right at the beginning of the pandemic, I had always been making beats kind of on the side or just for fun or just to see what I could do. But once the pandemic started, I didn't really have much work. So I just had so much time to just sit in front of my computer and make sounds and make beats. So that's really when I started thinking that I could do this professionally. So I started linking up with some of my friends and different local artists. One of them, his name is D Brooks, and we kind of clicked right off the bat and just started making music every Saturday. And that's kind of really what pushed me to become like an actual music producer rather than just someone who makes beats on the side. And I ended up making actually he's coming over today. We ended up making at least like 50, I think it's almost to like 55 songs now that we have like
Whoa.
in the vault. So like every weekend he just comes over, we make a beat, he records over it, and then we're like, all right, cool, next.
Wow,
So
man.
it's been quite the experience, and he's really helped me push my sound and push the limits of what I can do and what I can make, which has really helped me like hone in my skills and kind of get to the point to where my beats and my mixes are getting to like the professional level to where it can be commercially released or hopefully get on the radio or billboard or whatever. So yeah, it was just a really really like silver lining of the whole pandemic, I guess, because
Yeah.
there wasn't much work, but it also allowed me to explore this avenue that I had always kind of wanted to explore, but never really had the time to because I've been working. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, it sounds like you've been busy. So it's great. It's great to see all this stuff that you're up to. You know, it was great to hear all of the stuff you're doing creatively. And what we'll do is we'll have to meet again to talk about all the technical stuff you're doing, all the production stuff. So until then, I'll see you